The gelding, they don't have that, which is why people geld stallions, right? So that they're not quite as extreme. So usually in a mare or a stallion, you might feel that it's a bit more intense.
Do they play differently? Like, you know, I'm thinking like geldings are so playful in the fields, but mares have...
Yeah, mares are not as playful as geldings.
Right.
Because usually they're playing dominance games, you know. And stallions and geldings play dominance games like practice things. And mares are usually not quite as playful. I don't know why. Yes?
I'm a left-brain introvert percheron.
Left-brain introvert percheron.
Got a lot of good hints yesterday from you on the ground. But when we're under saddle, a lot of times...
I'll repeat for you.
I'm a left-brain introvert.
That's right. Listen, when you ask me the question, keep it real short, and then I can repeat it, okay? Go ahead.
All right, under saddle, we're walking along. I'll ask for a trot, or I'll think, okay, let's trot. Bam, he halts. It says,
what do you do?
what can I do other than...
So she has a left brain introvert percheron, and when she's walking along and she asks for the trot, he just stops. So here's the thing. You've got to get to where the horse doesn't want to argue with you. You've got to set it up so that the horse is wanting to do things. Everything is about preparation. You hear the words prior and proper preparation prevents
before performance.
Okay, so the question is, what is the preparation? You've got to get them mentally engaged with you. So, like right now, here's my two horses. Rema is a left brain introvert, and West Point is a left brain extrovert on the cusp of right brain extrovert. So West Point has a lot of go. Now that he's getting to use his left brain, but it's usually because he's tense. Now that he's getting to use his left brain more, he's getting more confident, he's needing to stop and think. Right? So the brain's actually getting active. Rema, if you just say go, he's obedient enough that he'll do it, but he'll do it with this look.
Fine.
Unless I get him keyed up. And so when I play with him on the ground, what I try to do is get him to ask me questions like, what do you want to do now? And there's always this game that he plays with me. And people go, you know, like, so even like years later, you still have to play the game. It's like, even. Woo! Thanks, Remy. Even though Rema and I have come, you know, forward in leaps and bounds and years, and we have this incredible relationship, he's still him. He's not a motorbike. He's a thinking, feeling being, just like we are. You know, sometimes people approach us just wrong, right? And when they approach us just wrong, they bring out the worst part of our Horesenality, our personality. So it's the same thing. It's an art. It's the art of communication. So when I play with Rema on the ground, whether it's at Liberty or online, it's usually very short, and it only goes as long as it takes to get him asking me questions and being tuned in. So once I've got that, then I do the same thing on his back. So here's what often happens. I don't go in and do the same thing all the time. Like, let's say that I'm starting in the round crown. It's so tempting to just go in and send them in a circle, isn't it? Because it's kind of fun. But it's also brainless, right? Because you just go, oh, I just think I'll send them in a circle. You're not thinking. So you got to think about, what is my purpose? When I'm going to go get this horse ready to play with me or to do whatever, whether I'm riding or I'm going to do an education session or patterns on the ground, what mood and what result have I got in mind? So with Rema, I want motivation. And motivation is, he's asking me questions, he's ready to go, right? So I've got to do the opposite of what you want to do. Because you want to use your phrases, right? Get going, come on, I said go. Well, you do that with the left brain introvert and they'll just stick their toes in the dirt harder. Pretty soon they say, you ask me one more time and one of us has to go. And we know who that is, right? So Rema will do this. Like, you know, I'll do really slow stuff. You know, like I'll tell him to move 1 foot. Because he comes in and they get this look, like left brain introverts get this look. And it's an act. It's an act. It's like, Can't do anything with this thing. And so instead of bringing your energy up and going, oh, let's do something, you got to come down to their energy. Which, if you're an extrovert like I am, was really hard. It was hard for me to do. But I learned how to do it eventually. I come down to where his energy is, and then I go, just move that foot. And he's like, good boy. Now move your back foot. Whoa, stop. Huh? Just one foot? Yeah, don't strain yourself. By this time he's like, hey. And it works every time. And then I'll say, now back up. Just back up from your tail, let's say, or back up, I'll hold his leg. Back up. And go, just go slow. Just go slow. But now come in a circle. He's like, a circle. And every time I get him going, I know I'm getting him. It's like I wasn't expecting that, but I'm asking really slow. And I reward the slightest try. Even it looks like he took a breath and I reward him. And people look at it and go, oh, for God's sake, just smack him, But that doesn't work with horses. So you use psychology. And then when I send him off in a circle, at first his expression is, oh God, a circle, right? And so then I'll stop him, and he does this. He stops and he goes like this. It's like if I don't look at you, you can't tell me to do anything, right? So he's like, And I used to go sneak up on him and chase him. But, he would move, but it didn't make things any better. So now I just wait. And I wait. And finally he goes, how long are you going to wait? And once I've got that connection, it's like, off we go. And usually we don't put that kind of effort into getting our horses ready. Now, Pat's much more adventurous than me. He'll say really provocative things like, have you ever heard of foreplay? Right. This is what it is. You got to get your horse in the mood to want to be ridden, in the mood to do whatever it is you're going to be doing. Get him in a learning frame of mind, get him excited to be with you, get him calm, get him motivated, whatever it is that you need to do for your Horesenality. So with your horse, you're asking him something before he's in the mood to do whatever you want, right? So your puzzle is, how do I get him in the mood? Now, I just wrote a blog, and of course you all read my blog, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's even up yet. I think it's up. That I wrote about, what did I call it? Learning lessons, I think. My very latest one, it just went up. And Walter Zettel was with us recently, last week, and on the third day of the lessons, he said to me, now you just ride Remmer as you usually would, and I'll coach you if necessary. So we've done that a few times, and it's gone very well. On this particular time, it didn't go well at all. And Remmer was like, you're talking, why should I don't really want to go forward. And the day before, he was this powerhouse, he was forward, he was magnificent. Next day, no. So I'm thinking, I know what I would usually do, but I didn't do it because Walter was there, and I'm thinking, I need to do what I think Walter would expect. And let's just blow yourself up now, right? So I'm riding around, and I start to push on Remmer. Psychology's out the window, and I'm using my stick. I'm starting to push a bit strong, and I'm like, so Remmer's like, okay, I'll do 2 steps with a bit more action, and then he comes back down. And his ears are not very, because normally in our lessons his ears are forward, he's really great. It's like if you watched us yesterday, he's a woohoo. It was all the opposite. So it was kind of, it would have been frustrating, except I don't let myself get frustrated. I go, well, how interesting. Something I wasn't doing right. And at the end of the lesson, I went and put him up, and then I came back down, watched Pat and Kate and go, and then I spoke to Walter, and I said to him, Walter, if you had a horse, you were riding and he didn't want to go, what would you do? He said, oh, I would ride out of the arena and do long straight lines. That's what I would do. But I'm thinking, I shouldn't do that because I'm riding with Walter in a dressage lesson in a dressage arena. So I don't do what I think And I said, the other thing that I do is I sometimes ask him to go slower than he wants to go. He goes, yeah, this is also very good.